Good morning, eighth graders. Today we have a unique opportunity to hear about some pathways at Brian McMahon. What I want to make you aware with these programs that you're going to hear about, they happen at Brian McMahon High School. You would have to be a student there at Brian McMahon, and I know they're going to talk more about this. And this would require you to apply in the lottery for McMahon. So something that myself or Miss Simone can answer more questions about, so that if you walk away from this presentation today having questions or being interested in either one of these programs, please seek out myself or Miss Simone so we can talk you through the process, because there's kind of two pieces that go along with this. A couple quick reminders from me. There's a few spots left for the Boston trip. That's number one. And two, a very exciting opportunity. I blasted on Parent Square yesterday and in our Google Classroom. I think some of your teachers have started to talk to you about, we are taking a group to see Hamilton at the end of May. There's a significant cost to the trip. So if you're interested and you have any questions, please seek me out. There is a deposit required to hold your spot because it's first come, first serve. So any questions, you want to be a part of that, see me or Mr. Petrop. Otherwise, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Tom. She's from Brian McMahon, and she's going to go through the presentation.
Hi, guys. I am joined with Miss Ithier, who's an assistant principal at Brian McMahon. I'm sure she'll just wave, and then we'll get started, and she'll be able to answer any questions at the end. But fun fact, I also went to West Rocks as a student, and I know Mr. Petrop still. So anyways, we are going to talk about some potential pathways for you if you are interested in them. Please note that you have to apply for the lottery by January 10th, and that's through PowerSchool. So your teachers can assist you with that later on. So let's see. We have a typical schedule the same as Norwalk High or P-Tech. We start at 7:30 and end at 2:15. We have alternating days, A and B days. All your classes are about 90 minutes each, and it includes lunch. So this would be very similar to Norwalk High or P-Tech, like I just said. Your graduation requirements are going to be the same, whether you're at Norwalk High, P-Tech, McMahon, or CGS. Also, before I forget, teachers, if there's questions, feel free to just put them in the chat and we can address them as they come up. Okay, so if you would like to come to Brian McMahon and you are going to start as a freshman, you would be enrolled in the IB MYP. IB stands for International Baccalaureate, and the MYP stands for the Middle Years Program. This is not, you can elect to come to Brian McMahon for our IB program. We focus a lot on global mindedness and inquiry, and we are very proud to be an authorized MYP school. So it's a lot of hands-on learning. You complete a personal project by the end of grade 10, and then we hope that you come and join our IB career-related program or our IB diploma program in grades 11 and 12. So as I just mentioned, an opportunity as well as the career-related program, which will focus on the pathways that I will go over in about 2 minutes. Our pathway options for you to come to Brian McMahon would be medical pathway, engineering, and marine science. We are working on getting computer science on there, and you would not be able to come to Brian McMahon specifically for ROTC, but if you're interested in that program, I would suggest applying for the IB in order to do that program. You also have the opportunity to do ROTC. I believe it's Air Force at Norwalk High School, so you do have that opportunity as well. We have a diploma program also in 11th and 12th grade, which is a little bit more rigorous than the career-related program with 6 IB classes over the course of 2 years. If you are interested, again, you get a diploma for the diploma program and a certificate for the career-related program, and these certificates are recognized worldwide at colleges and universities. I'm just going. Okay, so we have a computer science pathway which focuses on coding and JavaScript, which is kind of cool. I am not a computer person, so I have no idea what some of this stuff means. But you would start coding and analyzing and experimenting with different aspects of computer programming. If you do elect and are interested in the computer science pathway, you would need to apply through the IB career-related program. Our kids do really well at competitions with computer science, and this is just a sample of what it would look like if you start in 9th grade with computer science year 1 and computer science year 2, and then gradually evolving into the AP computer science and eventually IB computer science programs in 11th and 12th grade. Miss Ithier, feel free to stop me if I forget anything.
Doing great so far.
Okay. Like I said, they do win a lot of awards. They do really well at competitions. They are an elite group here at Bryan McMahon. They have their own little cohort, and they really enjoy working with their teachers and the support staff that are part of this pathway. So we have an engineering program through Project Lead the Way. I'm unsure if you have Project Lead the Way at West Rocks. I do know they have middle school programs for them. The first class you would take would be Introduction to Engineering and Design as a 9th grader, and then Principles of Engineering as a 10th grader, and Digital Electronics as an 11th grader. You can start any of these as at any grade level, but for your case in particular, you would have to start as a 9th grader if you want to come to Bryan McMahon. Project Lead the Way is a very student-centered, teacher-facilitated program where it's a lot of self-accountability for learning and problem solving. So this would be the traditional path of a 9th grader going through the engineering pathway. Teachers, I'm assuming if I don't see any questions in the chat box, there aren't any questions yet. Is that correct?
There are no questions yet.
Okay.
So if
I just want to make
arise, no, you're good. If they arise, like teachers, please use that chat. If a student, and even if we get them at the end, we can
That's
do
perfectly fine. The engineering pathway is pretty popular. The classes do fill up. So I would suggest if you're interested, like I said, go through Power School to apply for the lottery. One of our newer programs that is gaining momentum, and I know you guys have taken a field trip to our school. So we have a Marine Science Academy that starts in grade 9, and I know I think it was the 6th graders that visited. It focuses on marine biology and marine science globally, not just in Long Island Sound. But since we are very close to calf pasture and Long Island Sound, we do a lot of field trips through the Maritime Aquarium, on the Sheffield Island boat, and etc. If you can tell, there's a giant blue tank in the middle of this picture, as well as behind the student on the top right. We have over 250 living species in our lab with 1,000-gallon tanks and 500-gallon tanks. It's really cool. It's a lot of hands-on learning. We actually have a vessel that the students build in marine science year 2, and they like plop it into the ocean and they track it. And the last one we did made it all the way to Norway across the Atlantic, and they got to take a lot of real-time data from it. We do have partnerships with the Seaport Association. A lot of marinas work with us, and sometimes you can get a job a year earlier than what their standard level would be because you're a student in our program. This is what it would look like as a 4-year plan as a 9th grader. You would take Marine Studies 1, you would take Marine Studies 2 in 10th grade, and then you would do a couple options. You could do IB Marine Science, I teach that, IB Environmental Systems and Society, and Marine Engineering and Trades. This is actually a cool class. They learn how to build boat engines, and we are going to have somebody from All Seasons Marina who owns it come in and talk about possible job opportunities after high school. So the pathways are pretty cool because most of these pathways you can leave with a job right after high school if college isn't what is a next step for you right away. Still no questions, I'm assuming, so I'm going to keep trudging through. Another popular program that we have is our healthcare pathway, and that's 4 years as well through, again, PLTW, Project Lead the Way. The first class you would take would be Principles of Biomedical Science, and it sort of just reviews the biomedical field as a whole and problem solving through a fictional story. Human body systems would be anatomy and physiology in your 10th grade year. And I teach medical interventions, and we follow a fictitious family called the Smiths. And basically everything that can go wrong with the Smiths go wrong, and we problem solve to figure out how to fix it and use the interventions that are available in real life to diagnose and treat and prevent illnesses. Biomedical innovations is the last one, and that's a capstone for PLTW in the medical pathway. It's pretty cool. You follow different cases and you problem solve and make a capstone project. So one of the cool facets of this pathway in particular is we do offer a UConn EMT certification class. You would take that in school and you would be certified as an EMT by the time you finish high school, and you could have starting pay, I think around $30 to $40 an hour, which is pretty cool right out of high school. And instead of paying out of pocket, which is a couple $100, or using college credit to be certified as an EMT, it's, I think, $50 or maybe $100 for the whole course, and it includes your certification if you pass the exam. A lot of our students get to do ride-alongs with the Norwalk paramedic team, and then those who have actually completed their EMT course, some have actually come back on calls to the school as certified EMTs. And I know Miss Ithier knows it's a very popular course. That would be our 4-year plan from 9th grade to 12th grade, just with the PLTW classes. We also, in the medical pathway, have other options for you to get involved. You will get certified in CPR and first aid. We have Stop the Bleed, which is a certification to learn how to use tourniquets if you're bleeding out. And obviously, I just said the EMT program. We also have an after-school program called HOSA, where students compete nationally with other high schools that have the Health Occupations for Students of America program. We go to our Norwalk Senior Center, the Open Door Shelter, the Norwalk Green Association. We volunteer at the hospital. We do book drives. It's really cool because you get to really fully immerse yourself in the medical profession. Another opportunity within this pathway as well is we have the Healthcare Academy, which goes to NCC on Fridays. There's a fall cohort and a spring cohort, and you get to learn what the students learn, college students, through their medical assistant, their exercise science, physical therapy assistant, and respiratory therapy was what we did this past semester. And you literally learn from the teachers, the professors that teach a class with students who are currently enrolled, and you get to do a lot of hands-on activities. The photo on the left is a former student of mine learning how to do a tracheotomy. And the picture on the right, those students are learning how to do injections, which was pretty cool. I'm going to skip over ROTC just because we don't actually have that as a pathway option for you to come to Brian McMahon. But we have a very successful program. So here are the steps that you would need to follow if you are interested. You need to decide if you're interested or not. And if you are, that's great. You're going to meet with your counselor. I believe that's Miss Simone. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You're going to meet with Miss Simone. She can walk you through how to fill out the lottery form. I hope it's on PowerSchool. It's a little tricky. I don't even really know how to fill it out, but we'll figure it out. That's due on the 10th. So that's due next week. And then she's also going to fill out a Google form just so we get that information, so we know what class you're going to take as a 9th grader. We make sure that we put you in there appropriately as a 9th grader. Does that make sense? Did I talk too fast? Are there questions?
I think there are a couple questions coming in. I know some teachers are having trouble with the chat, so they're texting me some.
Perfect.
So teachers, if you have questions, you can't type in the chat, just shoot me a text. It's sitting right next to my screen. If you could just maybe go back to that slide and repeat what you just said about the process.
Yeah, I can leave this one.
Critical.
So you guys, again, you need to decide if this is interesting to you. My suggestion, and this is what happened to me as a student, I went to West Rocks and I was supposed to go to Norwalk High. All of my friends were going to Norwalk High. But I did get into CGS as a lottery system, similar to what you are going to do. And my parents said, just try it. And if you don't like it after your year one, you can always return back to Norwalk High. So I did, and then I never left Brian McMahon. So here I am as a teacher too. So I would suggest if you're semi-interested to apply, and if you get in, then that's a decision you can make later on, whether or not you want to follow through with that commitment or go become a bear. I prefer a senator, but here we are. So if you are interested, go through Power School. Actually, I think it's on the, I can share a tab too, right? How do I share this present?
I think you would have to unshare and then reshare. But in the meantime, one of the questions that came in from one of the groups was about serving in the military, specifically the Navy, after the ROTC. I just want to make everybody aware, to reiterate what she said. Both schools have an ROTC. In order to be involved with the ROTC, though, at Brian McMahon, you would have to be involved in one of these other pathways.
Specifically the IB program. And also, just because you are interested, if you're interested in joining the Navy, you could still join the Navy through the Norwalk High ROTC as well, which is what I think we were trying to say. But if you do want to specifically come, am I muted still or no? Shirley, can you hear me? Okay. So if you do want to come to Brian McMahon for the Navy ROTC, then you do have to apply through the IB career-related program. Can you see my other screen now?
No, I'm going to take that out for you and then put
Oh,
that
yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, yeah. Perfect.
One of the questions was, though, and this is Miss Simone asking, just so we're clear that we're giving the students the right information. The lottery is like the school choice.
That is a school choice.
So
yeah.
there's an open house coming up, and I'm sure that there's going to be more information about your programs there. So maybe, do you know when the date? They're coming up. They're like next week, I think, right?
They're both next week.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested in this medical, first of all, both of these opportunities are amazing. The fact that you guys could walk out of high school and be an EMT is an opportunity that my age group never had. So these are very, very cool and unique opportunities. If you were interested in that, I would have your family and you try to attend one of these open houses, because you'll probably get to talk to students who are in the program, really hear more about it. But then again, they might explain, you're going to hear lottery and choice and a lot of different words. Norwalk has school choice now, but it's through a lottery system. So your choice is McMahon, but you'd have to be in a lottery to find out if you got in or not. You don't have to make a choice for Norwalk High because that's your home school. But any of these other programs, that would be like an application process.
Yes.
So
So our open house. Oh yeah, go ahead, Shirley.
So that's really important. That's on Thursday, January the 11th at 6.
And Norwalk Highs is January 10th, I believe, at 6 too. So it's in your best interest to go to both if you're semi-interested in both. But like Miss Ithier said, January 11th at 6 p.m. And also, before I forget, if you are searching for the choice, all I do is, I don't even know how to get there. I just go to the search tab. Here. This is the Norwalk Public Schools website. I just hit the search button and then do high school choice. And it should pop up. And then I click here. And it'll let you choose from here. So all I did was go to the Norwalk Public Schools website, do the search option, clicked high school choice, and just scroll down a little bit. And it's in English and in Spanish. And you would have to go through Power School. This is because I'm not logged in through Power School, I believe.
There was another question. They're asking if you're in these programs, these pathways, you can take other subjects or classes. I think probably specifically like music and art.
Yes. So if we go back to the slide that shows the Connecticut State graduation requirements, all students in the state need to take a variety of courses, some in English, humanities, math, science. So pathways oftentimes fall into the elective categories, but there's still a broad range of courses that students should take. So pathways offer options for them.
You guys are great with questions. Every other school we're like, are there questions? They're like, nope.
We have sat through and gotten a lot of presentations through different programs and schools, and they've been really great about asking questions. One just came in. I think, is it 26 credits to graduate now? Is that what it's increased to?
So it was briefly last year, and we're back to 25.
Okay.
The reason is that our capstone brought it from 25 to 26. There is a capstone requirement for all students, and the capstone is like a culminating project that all students need to complete. And there's multiple steps to it, and it's like a passion project, something that you really strongly feel about, and it's usually completed in junior and senior years, but something that you start working on in 9th and 10th. And so that brought it to 26. It went back down to 25 when there was an adjustment made in the requirements for language. So at the beginning of last year, there were 3 years of required language, and now we're down to 2.
Great. I think I haven't gotten any other questions. I don't think so. I think we'll wrap it up. Again, if you guys are interested in any of these programs, you should speak to myself or Miss Simone. And if you're having trouble navigating like the website and getting into the lottery, we can assist with that.
And just for Miss Simone, I am finalizing that Google form this week, so I will send it out either Friday or Monday morning for the counselors across the district.
Fabulous. We'd like to thank you guys for your time. We appreciate the presentation, and we'll be in touch if students have any further questions.
Perfect.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.